The first thing that we're gonna need to do is open the frunk. Now that the frunk is open, we're gonna have to take off this panel. It's just being held in with these white clips, so that's really easy to remove. For this, you're gonna want a 10 mil. I'm just lazy, so I'm putting it on my drill, but you could use a wrench if you wanted to. I want to come in and remove that bolt right there. There's 2 bolts underneath here for me. You might not have these. These are actually 3D printed to help hold bags and such. Now we're also going to want to remove this front part. So it should look something like this. We're going to have to disconnect this wire. This wire, you can kind of just pull it out, and then this is going to come off. Now there's also going to be 2 bolts, and I have them underneath this floor mat, but you don't want to take your floor mat off and undo those 2 bolts. I already undid those. So since we have those two done, these 2, you're going to want to do, if you have 2 bolts right here. From there, you're pretty much going to want to just go ahead, lift carefully on the edges, and you can really start pulling this whole thing out. So for that side's out, let's go ahead this side. Here we go. The whole frunk tub should just come out. And that's it.
I give up, guys. I give up. I give up. I can't do it at all.
I've been trying for so long. The instructions say to put the wire through here. I've been using this huge flashlight, okay? And this huge flashlight has shown me that down here, it's completely sealed off in here. I cannot find an opening that goes into here. And I tried to use the fishing tape to, you know, just push it through, but no, nothing, nada, cannot get it through. So what are the options I have discovered? Well, there's one thing that you can do, and it's the way I did it. You see the panels right here? That's separate, right? This plastic piece and this bumper. If you can put it through here, if you have enough gap, you really have to pull them apart. Well, you can put it in that way. And from there, check this out. You can come on this side and you can grab it right here. It comes right through. So that's one way of doing it. The other option, and the reason why I didn't do it this way, is because if something hits underneath the car, well, then you're gonna probably lose your camera. But you can mount it right here. You can see I already have a hole for my underglow, and then you can fish this through, and that will go into this front area as well. So those are the 2 options. I cannot get it through the vent. I tried literally everything. Let me know if you can get it through the vent, or if you know or anyone knows a better way of getting it in there. This is the way I'm going with. So now let's go mount the camera, and then we'll get on to wiring. To mount the camera, we have this little bag. It has 2 screws and it has this adhesive pad. We're gonna use all of this. The adhesive pad, we're just gonna stick onto here, and then we can stick it to this. Then we'll screw in the screws into our bumper. There's a plane flying over me. Sorry if you can hear that. I'm gonna use some adhesive promoter or isopropyl alcohol, spray a little pad, and then come here and wipe down the center part or wherever you're gonna be mounting your front camera. The area is nice and clean. We can go ahead and take off this pad. Let's first remove the back part, and then we're going to put that right here, and it should line up completely as it was made for this with the back side. We'll put this back here. We're gonna line it from the back. Oh, much better. Okay, that's the strategy. I line it from the back first and then lay it down. So from here, we're gonna then pull off the top part, and then we're going to stick it to the car. Boom, just like that. We can go ahead and stick it in the middle. Make sure it's centered. So my center is gonna be like right here. That is very center for me. And now we have a front camera. So just press it up against here. I'm gonna save these 2 screws for later. I'm gonna keep them in the car. If this adhesive does fail, remember there's still that wire that's gonna be hanging onto it. So not a huge deal. I'm just not gonna do this right now. I think the adhesive is very strong. But what we will need to do is tighten the screws on the side right here, and here, and that will stop the camera from wiggling around. But we'll do that after we look on the screen and adjust the camera angle to an angle that we like. Now we have 2 ends, both are of the same kind of connection type. They both say front. This part that has this little coil bit on it, I'm going to use for here, and that's really just to protect the insulation. That's why they have it. So while we run this up here, we are going to be having this part connect in with this wire right here. Okay, it's keyed. It's only going to go in one way. We're going to start by coming over to the left side of the car if you're looking at it, or if your passenger is the right side of the car, this side of the car. See this part right here, this black plastic part? We're just going to go and remove these pins. Now you can do it with a pry tool, and actually, okay, ouch. Don't do it with your fingernails. Let's go get a pry tool. There you are. Use the fork edge of the included pry tool and then go in, remove that pin. I just dropped it and thankfully it came out from underneath, but be careful with these. That one is removed, and then we're gonna do the same with this one. Awesome, both are undone, and then this black rubber piece is gonna come off. It's just gonna make it a little bit easier to access inside of here, because underneath this black panel right here is where we're gonna want to go into. Speaking of this panel, we can easily remove this pin as well, and that's gonna make it a little bit more flexible when we want to move this up and down, just like, oh my gosh, I'm dropping everything. Now this black piece sits in a groove right here. You can feel free to pull it up and kind of out of the groove. You see how I did it right there? You're not gonna break anything. It just sits in there like that. Just make sure you set it back down when you're done with it. And now lift this up. I'm gonna try to give you the best angle possible. You see, I already have a cable running into it right there. I'm just basically gonna follow that cable and try to pull the wire through. And the wire I'm talking about, guys, is this one. So this is the one that we just attached to the camera, and we're going to use some tape, attach it to this, and then we are going to push this wire into this grommet right there, that black one. And once we push it in there, we are gonna pull it through the passenger side. So I'll see you over there. Make sure you cut a small hole in the grommet. That way you can fish the wire through. If you have any questions, please leave a comment below. This is going to be the longest part, I would say. Except actually, that part was pretty long. So that part and that part, we got some long parts here. You can see the fishing wire being pushed through. It's in here. Can't really see on the other side too well, but there's a little bit of light. Really isn't gonna show. And I don't have many hands here, but it passes through into the cabin. And now, yeah, let's just go in the cabin and try to find it. We're gonna look on the passenger side under here. We're gonna have to flip our heads and pretty much look under here. So I'm gonna go right here and look up. Oh, also side note, I went ahead and disconnected the light in the speaker. You're just gonna pull the plugs off, and then I put that guy up there. I see an orange wire, y'all. You see that? So look for your wire, and then we're gonna just reach the hand up in there and pull it down. We do not want to mess this part up, guys. So this is the part where we are going to fish it through. Now tape this strongly, because I don't know about you, but it took me a good time. Like you can see the sun's already kind of going down to get this all the way through. So we don't want to have to redo that whatsoever. So I am just going and taping this thing completely up all the way along here. We can waste electrical tape, we can buy more tape, but you can't buy more time. And we do not, or I do not, want to spend any more time on this than I have to. So basically cocooning it completely. There's no way that this guy is gonna come out. Absolutely no way. This is what I'm left with. So we have this tape right here. Now we can try to push it through this side and also pull it inside the cabin. It really helps if you have someone else to help you. I don't, so I'm gonna be going back and forth, pulling and pushing this guy. Oh my gosh. After a lot of pushing and pulling, guys, we finally got the cable through. And yes, I don't know if you can see, if it's wet, if it's sticky, I had to use a little bit of, let's just say, certain type of lubricant. The only thing I had on hand, okay, don't hear any judging, to get this through. Now let's go ahead. It is so slippery. I really think lube, you got to use some kind of lubricant to get this through. I can barely get the tape off. It is so slippery. All right, I got it. Let's remove this tape, pull the rest of the wire through, and then get to connecting it there and cleaning up our dash. So I've pulled it enough through. The first thing that I wanted to do was connect it over here, which I did. I went in to see if the camera still works. You can check this by quickly going into settings. In general, where it says AHD, click settings, and then you should have something come up. Now, when I go into 30 frames, it looks like this. So that's kind of unusable. When I look at 720p, it just says no signal. So I think the only configuration is 1080 and then 25. You can rotate, change the brightness, contrast, and saturation. The brightness, contrast, and saturation, I actually tested it out a little bit and it does work when you change it. So let's save and quit, and we can see our front camera. It's pretty good. You can see the leaves blowing around a little bit, but now it's time to just put these wires back in here. We're gonna clean all of this up. Let's first start by cleaning up this part, the dash. I want this thing done. Grabbing the wires right here, I'm gonna want to put them on the inside. All of the slack, I don't want it in the dash. I'm gonna have it on this way. And there's a lot of slack, so we're gonna redo the wiring under here. Let's just go pull this up, and then these wires, I'm going to pull them. You gotta really just pull it to where you think it's best fit. I think it's gonna best fit underneath here, and then run it along the way. Again, you can tape these. I'm not gonna tape it, but you totally could. And when you go to place this back, you're gonna wanna push the silver part kind of in here, push it this way, and try to line it up with the sides. You're gonna get a little bulge from this guy, so when you do put it in, just pay attention to that. You might have to lift this a little bit to get it in there. Cable's still running along here. The main thing is to get it behind the clips and then make sure it doesn't get caught in any of the clips. And then we can push it out right here. So let's pull the wires out from under the clips. Let's pull it to the back. Very tight here, very tight, guys. And it should come out of here. Let's try to line everything up as much as we can. I went ahead on this side, I lined up the side, and I basically punched it down here to get it to sit in. And then I did the same thing on that side. Now I'm just really dealing with the middle part, y'all. This side is sitting pretty flush, and hey, that looks good, right? Now I just gotta move this over and really deal with this middle. I don't know what the heck is going on here. Okay, so it was the middle part with the little hump bit that had the wires running through it. I just pushed it in more. You really got to push the wires in more. And now everything is lined up. Everything is super solid. So that's the dash put back together. Let's go ahead and do the frunk. Let's button up the frunk. So you got this guy, and we got to bring it back here. Make sure all your tools and everything are out of your frunk. Oh, and make sure everything is lined on how you want it. So like this, I'm gonna get some zip ties, and I'm probably gonna zip tie it one down here, one over here, one right here, and then up there. Alrighty, I don't know if you guys want to copy me, but if you do, go ahead, tie here, here, and then one down there. If you took anything off, like let's say this part right here, or the grommet, if you pulled the grommet out, make sure everything is sat back in place before you close all this up. Make sure everything works, that works, and then we can just go ahead and put all of this in here and then clip it closed. We also have this plastic piece that we're gonna just line up here, and then we can really just punch it down. It's just sitting on those plastic clips. Frunk is back to normal. Now let's go ahead and put the side panels back on. So really wiring these is just gonna depend on your circumstance. How many wires do you have in here already? You know, what does your situation look like? It's really gonna depend. So I can't tell you how to do this, but just take your time with this. Be gentle, make sure you don't have any tangling wires. If anything's tangling, feel free to unplug, move it around, and try to find a better path for it. All of mine's in. It is very packed up in here. So packed. Let's try to put this back on. If you guys need any tips about how to try to align everything, let me know in the comments below. Maybe I'll make a separate video on how to do this, or if you have any special kind of needs that you think are special, I guess, to your car, or you have any general questions that you might think will help other people, also drop them in the comments below. Seriously, sometimes I watch videos of other people doing stuff and I'm like, ugh, I wish certain things were explained better. And I know I'm not the best explainer, so especially when, you know, everyone's car is a little bit different. So if you have any issues, please give me a comment below. Let me know what your problem is and we can try to troubleshoot it together. But that is pretty much all aligned. You can go ahead and put the weather stripping back down. It looks good. It's a lot of just moving clips around and trying to get everything to be set properly. Guys, I am truly in love with this display. I think it is so cool to have this camera here, to have Android Auto, to really have a second screen in your car. It allows you to just have so much more. Do you have dual monitors at work or at home? This is pretty much what this is, having dual monitors. When I switched to dual monitors from having one monitor, I can never go back to just one monitor. And so having two now feels so great. It feels so good. Think about it. The higher end models come with it, so obviously having two is better. But let me know what you think about this in the comments below. There's tons of different screens out there. I have a few different models linked in the description below. The first one will be this exact one that I have. This one I really like because it's very low profile and it has this little vent right here. You can see the light from my ambient light is bleeding through, which also means the air will come through. So it's not going to obstruct the airflow. You still get ventilation, which I really like this unit. It is so sleek. But again, tell me what you use. Tell me your thoughts. I'm very curious below. Everyone has different kind of perspectives. Everyone has different opinions on what they like. So I'm curious to what you think and what is in your Tesla, whether it be a Model 3, a Y, or if you have an S or X. If, again, you want to pick this up for yourself, I'll have it in the description below, the like button, and I'll have a discount code to help you out. It also helps me out if you pick one up, so I really appreciate you coming along, trusting me with your install process. Again, if you have any questions, anything at all, it can be like the simplest thing, please leave a comment below and I will get back to you ASAP. I always get back to my comments as soon as possible, super quick, usually within under a few hours, which is great if you need any help installing this. So again, thank you for coming along and putting this together with me. I hope I can help you decide on a screen and put one in your car as well. Because come on, it just looks like a flippin' spaceship now, eh? And check this out, look, you can see that the lights are on right here. Lights are on over there too. So the front camera is pretty good. I really like it. Sharpness, it's all there. I'm gonna be having more videos coming out about this screen. Okay, I know I should end the video right now, but there is something that I didn't cover in this video, and mostly it's the UI, the user interface of this screen. If I were to put that in this video, there's so much about it. This video will be so long, but I will have a video in the description below. It'll be the only video linked, and it's just gonna be going over the features of this screen. I haven't seen a lot of people go over the features of the screen, so I'm going to use it for a little bit, and that video will be released pretty close after this current video. That way you can see what you're getting with this screen, everything you get, and you'll know what to expect when you get yours or what you won't get. So appreciate you guys again. Now I'm going to end the video. I'll see y'all later.